Hello and welcome. Now, I am going to hopefully in the coming months and in the coming year, that is 2025, but is not here yet, but it's about 3 months away, and that's a terrifying thought. Um, I want to become once again conscious of my finances. I have had a previously good history of doing that, especially in the pandemic, and those times, but the last year and a half has been different and I haven't been very conscious of it. And I realized that this month I have officially lived in Switzerland 2 years, which is amazing. I really think this country is incredible, but it is incredibly expensive. And so I've slowly but surely burnt through quite a substantial amount of my savings. And that's kind of why I've been able to be sort of ignorant, if you will, with being very precise and looking at the numbers. I kind of stopped tracking around the same time I stopped making videos, which was sort of February 2023. It is now October 2024, so we've been gone for a while. We're going to tentatively try and come back to being more financially conscious, and as YouTube helps me to do that, and also hopefully my financial situation and sharing my numbers can help you have the courage to look at your own. So here we are. This video is going to be messy because I am messy. My laundry's in the background. I put color on my makeup on my face to try and look more presentable, but really I feel like a slightly psychotic person who is just being able to pull everything together. So we're going to pretend, we're going to do what we can. And before I go any further in my rambling, I just want to say thank you so much for all the lovely comments and words and advice and suggestions and all the just things that were said on my last video. I realized when I filmed that I was sounding quite sad and depressed that day, so sorry if I gave the impression that I was really struggling. I mean, I am struggling, but I feel like we're all struggling. Life isn't easy. It ain't a picnic in the park. But just having to learn to be okay with that suddenly makes it possible to enjoy the whole thing. And I really appreciate it. And I appreciate that people are still here. I appreciate that people still care. I appreciate that people want to show empathy to a random person on the internet. I think it's just really wonderful. And yeah, I was very touched by that. And that's also why I'm here making another video. It's also what motivated me to track my finances in September so I could make this video. So let's do this video now. September, we tracked everything. I want to make a budget, but I thought the best way for me to start was actually just to kind of track everything and sort of see roughly what I'm actually spending. I mean, in theory, I could just go back over my previous bank statements from the last few months and get an idea of that. However, in summer, I was in Australia, and before that, I was both spending on my card and in cash, and I really do not remember. So I just thought I start afresh. We've still got 3 months until the new year, so I can, in that time, kind of prep myself for what could be a potential budget for 2025 slash, attempt to be somewhat on a no-buy already, but leading up to that potentially. I don't know, nothing's really clear. But I have tracked my finances, so I feel like I'm succeeding at something. Okay, so in September, I spent a total of 1,135 franc and 1 franc cents. I don't know what the saying's, rapper? I'm gonna say it's rapper or ripper, something like that, in Switzerland. That is my total spending. Now, my bills was the majority of that for 641 franc and 90 cents. I'm gonna just say cents because that makes sense to me. The next biggest spending was my groceries for 392 francs and 11 cents. This is really not how you're meant to speak about the Swiss money, but anyway, I'm sorry. Please write in the comments if you know the proper name for these things, I will also Google it because that seems appropriate. Eating out, I spent. Oh, okay, so let's talk about groceries. Actually, we should talk about bills. Maybe when I say the things, I will break down what is involved in the category. So, bills. The majority of that is, so the 641, the most of that comes from my rent. Now, my rent is 415 franc a month. Next part is my phone bill. So that was 26 francs and 20 cents. And my health insurance, which is because I'm not Swiss, it's a lot cheaper. And because I'm not working a proper job, it's a lot cheaper. However, I still have to pay 65 franc and 20 cents per month. Yeah, but it is what it is. I then have this online language subscription, which is 80 euros a month. This month in October, I will be cancelling it. I am currently trying to use up all my credits. I am so excited to end my toxic relationship with this subscription. And I also this month decided to end my toxic relationship with the Adobe subscription services. Like, I just think subscription services are the most dangerous financial situation unless it is something you use every single day. For example, your phone. It's just not worth it. Like, and if you're gonna have one streaming service, like maybe just have the one, but even then just try and pool with your friends. Or in my case, I still use the subscription service of a man that I used to see many years ago, and I've told him that I'm still using it and he doesn't care. So thanks for the Netflix. Appreciate it. You're a very nice human being. So I also cancelled Adobe, and that cost me 30 extra franc to cancel it because I hadn't done a full year with the service. So it was like, it's not that much. It's just for the Lightroom program, and I was using that for my photography. But it just frustrates me when some months I really don't use it at all, and one month I only need it for one or two little things, and then I'm still paying 14 Australian dollars or like 8 franc each month. And I know it's such a small amount of money, but all those little small amounts from multiple different subscriptions adds up, and that's what sort of slowly takes away from your finances. And then the next thing I have is 25 franc and 50 cents, which includes my Ausweis and my Audible subscription. Now, Audible is a bit different though, because I have paid for it for 1 year. I just like bought a mass thing for 100 franc or something for the year, and then I divided it by 12 so that each month I'm being conscious that it's being used, but I've already bulk bought it, if that makes sense, because I prefer to do that because it just, to me, it feels more real of a financial exchange in a reality than to do it per month. And that's what I thought as well when I got Adobe. Adobe is naughty. They are very naughty, and they do not tell you that you can't, when you cancel, you have to pay for half the year or the part of the year that you haven't paid for, because you think you are paying like $7 a month and you can cancel at any time. No, that is not true. You have to do the whole year and then you could cancel, but at the same time, it auto renewals without asking your permission, which, I'm sorry, but that is a form of like evilness, and I do not appreciate it. So anyway, those were my bills. The next area was groceries, which was 392, which is an insane amount of money to spend on groceries. But hear me out. I went to Germany, and I do this once every couple of months, and I did a massive bulk buying of lots of dry goods and a bit of meat and a few things like this. I have a photo that you can look at now that has what I purchased in that big shop, and that was, I think that was like a maybe 190 euro shop, or 190 franc. I mean, euros and francs are really similar, so I just say that I'm spending in francs because that's the majority. Even if I go to Germany and I spend in euros, it's slightly cheaper, but like not enough for me to worry about the math. So that is why the shop is more. Hopefully I plan to just spend around 200 franc per month on groceries, but every couple of months I will do a big haul like this so that I have all my dry goods, and it does help to save me money. The next area is eating out. I bought ice cream for me and a friend, and then I also got, I think it was Hungry Jack's It was one of those fast food restaurants, which I haven't eaten at in ages, but I was on my way back from a trip that my school or my class did to Stuttgart. And yeah, we performed in Stuttgart, and that was really fun, and I really enjoyed it, but it meant that I ate out. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Oh, and that's another thing with my groceries is then when I was in Stuttgart, I thought it was going to be all catered for, and it was. However, your friend here is gluten free, and people don't like dietary things. And I get it, it's annoying to cater for special dietary things, but yeah, that does just mean that often when we go somewhere, everyone gets their food covered, but I end up having to buy more. So I bought like 2 bags of groceries. I think I spent maybe €60 on like groceries and snacks when I was in Stuttgart for the weeks. Yeah, it was about a week. Just because there was days where they simply were like, we can't cater for gluten-free because it's too busy and everyone has to perform and be backstage. So fend for yourself, dietary specific individuals, which is myself. So that's also why the groceries was a bit higher than maybe what it should be. Okay, next one was transport. Now, I only actually spent 3 franc and 40 cents on transport to get one train ticket from my hometown in Switzerland to the train station that is on the border of Germany, which then the train ticket from there was covered to Stuttgart with the school. However, it's 18 franc and 40 cents because each year I buy this Halbtags thing in Switzerland, which means that you get like half off your fare. So usually the ticket that was 3.40 would have been, I think, 7.40 or something for me, but I get it cheaper because I have this thing. But this thing is like 170 for the year, and then I divide it by 12, and so then I count it in each month. So then I have a bit more of an idea of how much I'm actually spending on transport. I don't know if that makes sense. It's just what I decided to do. These are the consequences of my actions. It means it's a bit confusing to explain to other people, but that was my transport. And I have to work out actually this year. I was planning to do it last year. Last year was the first time I bought this Halbtags thing, but because I wasn't tracking my finances very well, I have no idea if it actually worked out in my favor to get it or not, because I don't really use transport so much. I bought a bike about a year ago. It cost me, gonna say, nearly 1,000 franc with the lock and everything. It was brand new. I should have gotten a secondhand one, and I did look around, but I kind of just got overwhelmed. And then I was talking to the local bike store people, and they were really nice, and so I just bought the bike. Also, it was a very nice color. And I know that's not the reason to spend more money than you have on a bike, but choices were made. But now I mostly just only use the bike normally. Like if I go to school, if I go to Basel, I try and ride my bike, and every now and again I will catch transport. So it doesn't really make sense that I'm paying for a Halbtags thing when I'm probably not going to use it very much. But we're going to track the finances this year, and we're going to have an answer this time next year whether or not it's worth it, because I have to renew it each summer. The next thing is things. So I effectively was just like, okay, enough's enough. You basically bought a bookshelf full of things, which is making my life harder when I have to clean my room because I've got to dust the whole thing. And yeah, I went from being quite minimal to a little bit less minimal. I'm definitely I'm definitely not the minimalist I once was, one could say. But yes, what am I trying to say? So this month I was just like, yeah, okay, you're on a no buy. You know the rules. Just stop buying stuff you don't actually need. However, I did spend 40 franc on things this month. It was just one single thing. It was some silk fabric, I think like 4 meters long or something like that. It's basically to make a veil, which we wear when we do the kind of movement study that I'm doing. And I've gone into the second year. So when I'm in the second year, you need this veil. In the first year, you don't. So I had to buy the silk for that. And now I have to hand sew it myself. So that was something I did purchase, but I felt like it's kind of essential. Like literally the teacher came and measured us all and was like, here's your amount. This is how much you need. This is how much you need, and gave it to us. And I purchased it because I need a veil. I do have one in another color, but we need white for I have a yellow one, I think, that I got from someone secondhand that was really expensive. It was way more expensive than just buying the silk and making it myself. But I didn't know that when I was in the first year, and now I'm in the second year and you learn more. So a tip to my previous self, please don't go and buy things you don't really know enough about because you haven't studied the thing long enough, and that includes the textbooks you bought last year but you haven't actually touched yet. Okay, good. Sorry, I'm kind of losing my mind trying to film this video. So anyway, I bought some silk. It was 40 franc. We're moving on. The last area that I spent money on was gifts for 21 franc. It was just someone's birthday. No, it was two people's birthdays. So I just bought them like some chocolates. It was nothing fancy, but it was just a few. Just a little birthday treat. So I spent 1,135 franc and 1 cent. I made, however, a total of 900 franc and 55 cents. So it does mean I have gone into my savings by 234 franc and 46 cents. However, it's okay because I already know that this month of September. So basically, the 955 comes from the months before that I worked. I was technically away during the summer, but before then I got paid for the month of June. And yeah, so I took the paycheck from June and I made it the sort of quote unquote budget for September. And I think that's just how I'm going to do it for the future. So I already know in September I have made more money for the month of October, and I hope to spend less because I won't be going away and I won't be doing that massive shop to Germany, and I will be cancelling my subscription. So I've cancelled 2 of my subscriptions, so I know that my bills will be less, so that is all good news. And basically my cleaning, I clean. That's how I make money. That's my job. I am a Putzfrau in Deutsch, and or like Reinigen something. There's another German name. Anyway, so I clean for a bigger organization. I clean the finance offices and also sort of an event space that's attached to the finance offices. So when there's big conferences, I have to clean more because more people use the event space. So that's my main job. Now, I can only work 15 hours per week as a student in Switzerland. That's the requirement of my visa, or that's what I'm currently dealing with. And yeah, I work usually less than 15 hours with them a week. I try to work more like 10. Sometimes it's like 12 or 13 or 14 just when there's the big conferences. So that's my main income. So for the month, for September's financial budget amount, which was actually made in June, I made 760 franc and 55 cents from my main job. And then I have a private cleaning job where I work for one lovely lady in her house, and I worked for her one time in August when I first got back from Australia, and I made 140 franc. So in total that brings what would have been my September budget, but we're not budgeting yet, we're just paying attention to the numbers, 955. So we've overspent, but we knew that was going to happen because of the big German shop, because of going away, and yeah, I just knew that this month was going to be more. I really hope October brings it down to a bit more of a manageable amount, and then I can see what is actually going to be more realistic. Also, I'm going to be so excited to cancel subscription services. I think I need to make a whole video on how much I think subscription services are a scam, because I have a lot of passionate feelings about it and I can't afford therapy at the moment, so maybe I can make a video. Okay, sorry, I'm being a bit rambunctious today, but that's just how we're feeling. So anyway, that's my situation. That's where we're at. Hopefully there'll be another video next month. I hope this was interesting. It was definitely chaotic, and yeah, I don't know, maybe it will encourage you to look at your financial situation, because me and all my chaos is able to do it. And that is the cool thing. Like, even though everything's a bit nuts. The fact that I built habits of budgeting when I was younger and habits of tracking my finance and doing a no buys, like it has given me the skills that when I was like, okay, I do it now for September, I didn't have to really even think how to do it. I already had my method. I just had to look at the numbers and it was really, really easy. It wasn't actually hard. I don't know why I was ignoring it for so long, but we're here now and I'm just glad to be looking at it again. Takes courage. Takes courage to look at your financial situation. So anyway, sorry this video has gone on so long, but thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.